Morning, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. So if you have been following our channel for very long, you know that I've got a 30-foot gooseneck trailer that I use quite often. And I've had many comments talking about how much help this trailer needs. And I know that. I've known that for a long time. Today, we're going to be focused on a couple of issues with this trailer. So one issue is this. This thing needs boards really bad. That's the main thing that I get comments about. The other issue is
it's a good 3 foot off the ground.
These ramps are,
well, they look about 3 feet.
Maybe 5 feet.
Really?
Maybe 5 feet long. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I bought maybe 4 feet. I don't know. But anyway, let's come back here and I'll show you the other difference. Or the other problem. Or the continuation of that problem. So, it don't have a dovetail on it, guys. So whenever I set my ramps up, they're literally, probably better than a 45-degree angle. And it is very sketchy loading that tractor on this trailer with those ramps. Now, I do have a spot in our yard that I can back up to that lessens that significantly. But when I'm out somewhere else, I don't have that,
privilege.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. So, we're going to cut the frame back here. And we're going to fold this down to about a 20-degree angle and make a dovetail out of it. So that will lessen my angle overall for loading. And that's what we're getting ready to start on today. I don't know how far along we're actually going to get today, but we're going to get started on it. I've got to get boards removed up so far. Of course, I'm going to tear them all off, because once I do this, we're just going to replace the whole deck on the trailer anyway. So I got to tear them all off soon, but I want to get the dovetail done first. David over at Come On Homesteading loaned me these torches, and while I've got them, I'm going to get this done, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, let's get started.
You're hooked on the metal over here.
Now, I do know the best way to do this, you know, level the trailer all out and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I don't have the equipment to do all that. And, you know, if I cut both sides close, they're going to go where they need to go. And I'm not all that worried about it being, you know, perfect. So I just want it to be functional, you know. If you watch my channel very much, you know that. And I guarantee you it's going to come out close enough. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Now, let's figure out how we're going to do this. Actually, I can come back a little bit. That'll be all right. over that light bracket. It's, you know, there's a hole right there you can get it through.
Oh, there is.
Got to go under them. There you go.
I got wires here. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay, that's center. So, there ain't no freaking way I'm gonna get that done. Degrees. All right, guys. So, everything I'm seeing on how to do this is going to be a 20-degree angle on the dovetail. And so, what I done was I come in here and marked. See if I can get in here and show you. Center line, and then I went 10 degrees this direction and 10 degrees this direction. So once this bottom or back end comes down, it should close this gap, and then I can just weld it back up. Hopefully. I do believe that that's going to work out great. We're fixing to try it, see what happens. I do know, so see how thick the frame is on that trailer. That's probably a 10-inch frame. So this is 10 inches back here that's going to have to be cut off. Once this comes down, this will almost be sitting on the ground. So, or, you know, be very close to it. I'd be dragging it, so that's going to have to come off. But I've got to get everything where I want it. That way I can cut this at a level angle. So, yeah, anyway. See what happens, guys.
Before you do that, you might want to line these two up in case you have to cut this as well.
I do have to cut. That's just going to have to be cut because that's going to come apart, and then we'll have to get more metal to put back on it.
I see. Okay. does it make that hissing noise?
So I'm trying to blow through it. Something to hammer with.
Is this big metal pole work?
See if you can knock it out. Just poke it. There you go. All right. Same thing on the other side.
Back the tractor up?
Yeah. Mikey's got to get the tractor out of the way, y'all. All right, I got kind of lucky on the other side. This is the driest spot I could find to park this thing to do this work. And we're a little wet over here. Just is what it is. Yeah. Let's see. It ain't bad enough. I mean, I don't need that yet anyway. We need the tape measure and figure out where we're going to be here. Here. Oh. Four foot, same place. Okay. Need the 4 foot measurement again. Okay. Same thing on this side. Let's see if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. Mark center line, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. Now, it's time to cut again. Yeah, let's see about this. I ain't gonna.
Do you
ain't gonna
auto rotate on?
Yeah, I don't know if that works on the camera though.
To get the molten stuff away?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Sounds like a bee. Or like a fly.
Yeah. Tip might be a little bit dirty or something. Oh hell, that broke off. I didn't even.
Are you too short for that, Wiley?
No, I'm just trying to get away from it where it's not blowing hot stuff down my feet, down my boots.
Yep.
All right, y'all, there we are. She's cut. Let's see if we can get her to bend.
Yeah, so they're still in a nice state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, wait a minute.
What, do we need to cut these
Yeah.
sidebars first?
Dang it, I forgot one step, guys. These side rails have got to be cut. Of course, they've got to bend with everything else. So I've got to cut these, and then we'll be ready to bend it. Matter of fact, I bet that whenever I cut these, it's probably going to bend on its own, or pretty darn close to it. So, yeah, here we are. Let's see, Mikey. We're about a 1/4 inch further there, so.
What, looking at your cuts?
No, the
Make sure they lined up, or
one thing I need to measure from here, and this is further than this, from where we measured down there. So we need to go pour. Well, yeah, especially when you're carrying a torch.
Maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
Whoa. Dang.
Want me to put the forks under it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now we should be ready. Let's get back here. I don't even think I'm going to need to use the tractor. So let's get back here. Push down. Look at that.
I got my slide down far enough.
That's touching.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, it just sprung back up a little.
That'd be a lot easier.
Oh my gosh, guys, check that out. That is gonna make things so much easier. Now,
Before you,
just got to get things welded back together. You know, I've got to come up with some metal to fix, like right here. So, of course, when you bent it, you pulled this top apart. So I'm gonna have to come up with some strap metal to cover that.
you know what?
Same
These,
thing on the other side.
These 20 degrees look like they might fit.
And they might. We'll just have to, well, I mean, I can use them. I can make them work. I can cut them down if I have to, whatever. The pieces that I cut out down here, the little wedge shaped pieces, I can recut those and make them fit in here and weld it all back together. So yeah. Anyway, now I've got to clean up my welds a little bit, clean that stuff up, get the frame welded back together. Then, like I said, we've got to cut this. So let's go back here. Of course, guys, the tires are sitting in a little bit of a dip right there. So the back end of the trailer is actually closer to the ground than what it really will be on level ground. But
still, only having about 6 inches of clearance.
It is super close to the ground right here. So I've got to cut this tailboard off to make it more clearance. And yeah, that's going to be the next step probably. Well, might go ahead and get it welded, or, you know, at least tacked together where it's in its permanent spot. And then come back here and deal with some of this stuff. We'll see what happens, I guess. But yeah.
So here's the question: how much of this are you willing to cut off? Because this is directly attached to that.
Yeah. So is what I got to do. Okay, Michael asked me to ask a good question, so I'll show you. Is what we're going to do is we're going to come back here where we cut it off back here.
Yep.
We're going to make basically a level line from this back corner up to here, and then we're going to cut this out. We'll cut this wedge out, and then we're going to leave this strap on there. And then once we get that wedge cut out, we'll bend this strap back up and weld it back together. That gives you the bottom, leaves you the bottom part of your frame.
Okay. So we're just leaving this like top chunk.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Might come down just a tad, but not much. Probably there's angle iron welded right there, so we'll probably just go to the bottom of that angle iron.
So like just leave about 1.5 inches or 2 inches of this.
Yep.
Okay. Too bad for be best while you weld.
Okay. Anyway, there we go. I do have to. Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to come up with a couple extra pieces of metal. I'm sure I'll find something somewhere. But that, well, no, I've still got to get this back end cut. I was fixing to say that pretty much gets, you know, where I can take the torches back to David, but I've got to get this all cut back here first. And once we get this cut, then the torches can go back to David. And I absolutely greatly appreciate his loan of the torches. We are, whenever I take the torches back to David, we are going to be talking about maybe me taking my sawmill over there, and we'll see how that goes. I'll let y'all know. And yeah, so I'm going to shut this thing off, reset up a little bit, and we'll go from there.
You know what?
All right, guys, so me and Mikey didn't realize the camera wasn't rolling. But here's what we got done. See what we got? There's our cuts. Then, like I said, we come in here, we cut out, I don't know if that's hot steel, but we cut out this wedge piece. So we're more, you know, closer to the ground right here, you know, taking up space. I left the bottom piece where we can jack it up slowly as I weld, get it welded back together, get that welded back together. Same thing on the other side. And I had to cut most of the tailboard off. Let's see where we're at. Most of the tailboard off to get us more clearance back here on this back side. Like I said, it's going to be more clearance than that. My tires are setting in kind of a dip right there, so it's got the back end of the trailer closer to the ground. Maybe it's not a dip up there, maybe it's a hill back here, I'm not sure, but I know working in this area a lot that it is definitely something.
Are you curious how much we took off?
Guys,
8.5 inches.
we dropped it 8.5 inches.
Yes.
Perfect. That should be more than that.
I'm talking about what we took off the back.
Oh, the back. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the back we took 8.5 inches off. Let's see what that dropped it. So, come here, Mikey.
Okay.
With the tape measure. Let's do some measuring.
Okay.
First off, come right outside this wheel, measure to the top of the trailer. So, right there we are 39 inches tall. So the trailer sets 39 inches off the ground. Now, with a, I don't know what those are, 4 or 5, maybe 6 foot ramps, but whatever. They was almost a 45-degree angle on the back end of it. Now, oh, no, wait a minute. Do this, Mikey.
Okay.
Because the ground ain't level, so you ain't gonna be able to measure from the ground. Get a correct measurement from the ground.
Fair enough.
Measure from the top of the rail to the bottom of the level. Top of the rail.
Top of the rail. Wrong side of the rail.
So we dropped this back end 14 inches, so that means it's 25 inches off the ground. Guys, that, you talk about an improvement. I don't even know what to say. That is going to make, oh my gosh, I'm almost excited about being able to load the tractor up on here now. That's going to make a tremendous difference. That's a 4-foot dovetail. We've still got a lot of work to do, a lot of welding to do. I do want to I'm going to use what we had to cut off the back end and make some little diamond plates to kind of reinforce the welds over here at the front. And, yeah, let's, I don't know that I'm going to just, show you guys all the welding and all that stuff. That just kind of gets a little monotonous. But, so, I'm going to start welding. And, then I'll give you guys an update, and we'll kind of do it that way. Let's do it that way. Okay, guys. So, as y'all seen, I had pretty big gaps to fill on the trailer because our cuts wasn't quite straight. Using the torch, and, it just is what it is. But, didn't turn out the prettiest, but you know what? It's going to work. So, let me show you what we got, what we're doing. My welder started... the fuel pump on my welder's overheating, so it's like running out of fuel, vapor locking. So we're just going to shut off. We're going to end it for the night and shut it off, let it cool off, and work on it tomorrow. Not like I have all the rest of the stuff I need to get it done anyway, so not like we're in a huge hurry. So I'm going to show you guys where we're at, and we'll continue from here. But, so I just went ahead. I know it's ugly. I don't care. I don't care if it's ugly, guys. I'm not no professional welder. I'm not, whatever. I don't know. But I don't care it's ugly. It's going to hold, and that's all that matters. But, also this. So, this gap, we just used those little wedge pieces that we pulled out. And I'm welding them in here. This is whenever my welder started messing up, so I'm not done. I've got to go down these insides to finish everything up, but welds the gap up. It's not the prettiest as far as, making it all smooth and being pretty. I don't care as long as it works. Also, I've still got to cut this like jagged tooth off right here because that's part of that piece, so I've got to cut it off. Welds on the trailer, on the dovetail parts done. We oh yeah, I forgot while I was over here, the bottom piece, I pulled that up, welded it all together, so that's all welded, all done. Now I was showing, letting Mikey practice using the torch, and This is going to be a little bit of a harder obstacle to cover, but I can make it happen. But, oh, almost fell. Look at some of the gaps I got to fill right there, guys. I've got to fill some gaps. I got it tacked together where it'll stay in place, but I've got to finish welding this up. And then I haven't got to put the piece in here yet. And then the weld on that is done. But I'm going to walk back here and show you guys that is, I'm so excited, guys. That is freaking wonderful. I will probably figure out how to attach a video up here. Shows you what it takes to load a tractor on this thing before I done this. Give it a click, check it out, because it is extremely sketchy. But that totally solves that issue. Plus, guys, I've got 3 vehicles in Oklahoma that I need to go pick up and bring back here. I got Emily's pickup. I've got one that I just bought, and I've got a parts vehicle sitting down there. Plus, I've got a short bus sitting down there. We may go get it. I've got numerous things down there that I could use a trailer for, and I am like, I don't want to have to ask people to borrow their trailers. This is going to make it to where I can load a pickup on here. This is just going to save me so much hassle. Also, thanks to Sean over at Back to Good, Sean was able to get me a remote for my winch. So I've got a winch that I'm going to be able to mount up front up here and be able to winch things on. Actually, so the winch is mounted on a 2-inch receiver. I had a receiver, or a subscriber send me a 2-inch receiver mount for my winch when we first moved over here, over a year ago, probably right at a year ago. And I'm just now getting to be able to put the winch together and make it work. I do have the winch mounted on the 2-inch receiver thingy, and I want to be able to use it on the trailer. I want to be able to use it on the truck. I want to be able to, you know, bounce it around from place to place. So that 2-inch receiver is just awesome. But anyway, I can't wait to get to use this now, guys. This trailer's made many trips back and forth to Oklahoma, even though the floor was bad on it. You know, things just being loaded on it with the tractor never give me an issue. This is just going to make it 10 times better. And, yeah, anyway, I'll probably put this one out. You guys will see a continuation of this. You know, I don't know. You know how it goes, guys. Money is an issue. Of course, most of this can be done without money. I've got trees, I've got the sawmill, I'm going to make my own lumber, I'm going to do my own bed. I can do that. There is a few things. I've got to reconfigure tail lights. I've got to buy different tail lights because the ones that I had on here will not work now. They're too big and will get tore off really easily, so I've got to find some smaller tail lights that I can wire up into the little narrow strip on the back. And, you know, I've got to buy the decking screws, the bolts to hold all the wood down. So, yeah, you know, and that's the way I do things like I do, is because, you know, money's always an issue when it comes to stuff like this. And I just do what I can for as cheap as possible. So that's where we're at with this. But anyway, stay tuned. There'll probably be another video coming out soon about this. I've also got another video that I'm working on about my new toy that I got for the tractor right there. And anyway, work hard, stay humble, and love God.